Side, I like the composition that they're bringing to, right? There's a lot of conversations about that Soba, how much value it can still get. But nonetheless, on this attacking side, they can give some information, right? They have to be very hesitant about playing against Cloud9 on the defense. So a little bit of information early on is going to allow them to start with a couple picks and then just go from there, right? The chamber is going to enable that too.
Oof. Ender's just missing a timing on Annie, but might find a bit more than she expected. Headhunter shots out towards mid, and Team T heavily leaning towards this B site. You've got that one lone chamber in JNL. Who's making noise inside garage, is going to back away. Fault line queued up. There is so much to delay on the side of Cloud9 White, and Team T haven't really done anything to buy that out, right? You see Annie rocking full util on the breach. It's all still available. Now the C site's here, but it's not clear. Katsumi to open things up here on Haven. Opens up the season with a nice headshot onto Enders, and well, no real response. Finally, Tenzin gonna hop onto the board, but Katsumi still unanswered, and it's Cloud9 to Swarm, and they're flawless here in the pistol.
So good, so more than anything, a transition round for Cloud9 here.
You're gonna be looking to farm up the altars. Yeah, and Team T, they had the right idea. Unfortunately, they just didn't invest enough to get that player off of C, right? The whole time Cloud9 White were able to just hang out and really just play their positions. They reinforced one player onto the B site. Everywhere else still has defenders, and now we're minus 400 here for Truly. Tenzin, and well, we're minus 100 HP for Axo. She falls. Jazzy to net the first. Smells able to find one out towards mid, and two lined up here for Alexis. It's 3K for 3K, and it's Prime Gaming flawless for Cloud9 this time around.
They want to take over. So far, right, only 2 rounds, but they tried some different things. They tried to get that information early on towards A long, and also go through garage with the utility that we get. It's going to be more than anything getting that initial takedown of someone of Cloud9 to start working with it, and this is exactly what you're trying to execute towards C.
Jazzy's just trying to find that double dink again. I mean, my Spectre does not do that. You guys can call me a bad player, sure, but my Spectre doesn't do what Jazzy's did in the last round. Unfortunately, Mel didn't have much of an answer. I believe she only brought the Marshal into this round, but she's met her fate. She has since fallen. So one defender less out towards the C site. And once more, we see utility tossed out this way. So similar to the pistol, look at the lurk out towards mid, right? Jazz looking to get something or catch somebody on the rotate. Unfortunately, oh, okay, and he falls. The trademark should reveal. Well, the C site is not free just yet. Katsumi still planting her feet. Oh, through the cloud burst. Lexus going fishing, and Team T showing some life here. A near flawless. Only 2 more players to worry about. It's straight through the smoke. It doesn't land for Jazzy. 12 HP is what she's got when she backs away, and with 35 seconds, that spike is still yet to be planted. Fortunately, it wasn't Katsumi to farm the kill, so she doesn't have the ult to deny. She's able to find 1 kill, but now the last one standing for her squad. It would take a Herculean effort. She would need to find 4. Unfortunately, they know exactly where she's coming from. She's going to swap over the Phantom, picks up the first. A dink onto Axo, finds the HP just a bit lower, but Jazz is there to close it out. And Team T, they're on the board.
T for this side of Team T. Now the strategy might be a little bit more aggressive on the defense this time around.
Yeah, a lot more aggressive. Early flash. Alexis going to try and take that space away, and Enders. Oh, Enders has nowhere to go. Aftershock used a cloud burst and a dash to get away, and unfortunately, Janelle was there to also take heaps of damage, so buys out the healing orb from Jazz, and with that, Team T, they're forced back into their spawn. They've got nothing to show for it, for the start of this round, that is, except for a couple of bumps and bruises.
This is just the beginning too, right? The flow of the game can go any way now that those rifles are being bought. Now there's a little bit more pressure, but we already saw the signs of Cloud9 wanting to take that map control as soon as possible. They're continuing to do that, right? They're denying that garage push that the side of T is trying to take. And with that, it can be another one of those B pushes, but it is not a replicable round, the one that we got to see before.
And the round previous was an interesting one, but it's right about that same amount of time that Team T take this B site to get that spike planted. No delay, unfortunately. It's Lexus will find the first. That was the player trying to push into garage. That allows the Seekers to reveal the rest of the players out towards the B site. Inside the cubby. That one's going to be Jazz. She's taken down early in the retake. Going swimmingly, but answering back are Enders and Tenzin. As Enders cuts it down to a 1v1. It's low HP on Mellows. Enders going to go up top inside the cloud burst she plays. She drops down, finds the kill, and ties us up.
That they're waiting for. It's more of a patient game for them. And another eco too. They're going to be running for this one.
They try to get aggressive with it. Katsumi. Well, I was going to say unanswered out towards mid, but tour de force online for Mel will find the first. Jazzy picks up the second. There's a weapon now in Jazzykin's hand, and that's a scary place to have it as Alexis grips the alarm bot. Doesn't necessarily get the shot out of it, but tries to back away, and Janelle's there to close out the frag. So it's Cloud9 White on the back foot here in this round, still in way of economy, but tour de force means that Mel has more than just that classic showing on the overlay, and then Jazzy obviously having that rifle means scary things. You see the drone being used from the spawn once more. Team T, it's hard for them to gain the space here. Fortunately, no shot to be had out towards A long as they all look to link up and play this way.
I do love Mel playing on the chamber. It is one of the biggest highlights after chamber was brought in for Valorant. You can see Mel, this IGL, playing on the chamber, having the potential to be so explosive in a way that we didn't get to see before with the Cypher. So it is a potential eco round going their way, but Team T as well on the other side trying to challenge into it.
The shock dart goes wide, so Mel still able to plant her feet and look to fight from this position. But with the kill on a Jazzy, it makes things a bit more difficult. Okay, wait, Annie went all the way through the spawn, found one of those weapons that had fallen, and is now causing problems in way of the backstab, but numbers still in favor of Team T. It was Mel, unfortunately, doesn't pick the right angle in time, so the last one standing, Annie, here in the 1v3, and she's run out of time. Can maybe hope to play containment, keep the players on the spike as it explodes, and she backs away to save her weapon.
Team T, that tweet that we saw from them, they were saying they're gonna give their best into this match, and it's already something that we get to see, right? They were forcing a couple of changes for the side of Cloud9 White control, and this is just a classic position for her. This is something that we got to see when she was playing in the tournament, and it's something that really works out for the chambers too, right?
Yeah, very strong weapon to have in the hands of your chamber, an operator. And I mean, Cloud9, they try and do it again, right? They look out towards mid, they look to play aggressive, and that's where they're finding value, but they're letting the round play out as it should, and that's where Team T is starting to catch him off guard in the site takes itself. So another great start for Cloud9 White. We'll see if they look to sit back and play this one a bit more default. Unfortunately, Guiding Light did not reveal Enders, so they make eye contact for just a second, but it's Alexis to back away. Another Guiding Light to go. Recon bolt, and the orbital strike is here, and well, it's not needed. It just puts Enders in a bad spot for Jazzykins to send her 6 feet under. And speaking of a bad spot, it's only 3 remaining on the side of Team T, and they're headed right into the 2 defenders of Cloud9 White here on the C side as the numbers continue to dwindle.
There's quite a lot of utility that was invested towards that site, but only 1 remaining, and Cloud9 will take care of it. Yeah, there was so much utility. We're giving them that space control that T was fighting for. It was a very tough positioning to work with as well when you're playing towards window, as we see Cloud9, and they're not scared to back up or to push forward. They're looking forward to get the opening pick, and after that, it just becomes so much more easy. But yeah, even the electric dart that we get to see, is just a little bit more momentum that Cloud9 is able to build into this one.
And we're quickly into the next. Op still in the hands of Mel. Has the rendezvous should she look to get away. Tour de force on the other side, though, for Janelle. We're going to lock things down out towards C long. High ground seized by Jazzy for just a second. She takes a few shots. Will back away. Has the blade should she need them. The ult's on the opposite side, though, right? We're seeing the blade storm here for Enders. Tour de force already online. We're very close to that resurrection. Just about everybody has their ult here, so almost all the ducks are in the pond. They're just missing the resurrection, and it's all about how they can utilize them. Flash for Jazzy to take the space out towards mid, but this is where Cloud9 get punished. They usually find these trade kills. We go back to normal, and the round is conceded, and that's exactly what happens here. Weapon down, weapon retrieved, an upgrade for Jazz, a resurrection now online for the Sage. Cloud9 a player down as they look to defend the C site once more.
You see a lot of rotations as well that Jazzy's trying to take early on and trying to get that opening, but is actually the Jet on the other side getting a little bit more to work with. Mel, who was rotating from A to B, managed to change things around. It seems like it was going to be yet another B hit, but after knowing that Mel was rotating from A, is a perfect opportunity as well for T to take control of this site.
And they can concede the A site because of the trademarks that they have set up here. So they get the information that Team T want to go this way. And unfortunately, there's no time to second guess it, right? You have 10 seconds. You have to get that spike down. Fortunately, the damage that was dealt and the ult used in the last round means no orbital strike to deny. Nothing there to fight for denial as well. So a free plant, a 4v3 here in the post plant, and it's Enders toe-to-toe with Katsumi. She'll look to back away and reposition. From the shadows was used for Axo to get up into heaven. But answered by Alexis. 2 targets. Too many for the Omen. Try and find the trade onto that. The only problem here is now you have to Batman your way out of heaven. And, well, it's looking pretty good because Katsumi can back you up here. You know, just on the outside. Tour de Force still in hand as Alexis cuts it down to the last one, but it's a 1v1. And the time is ticking. Alexis going to hop onto the spike. Tour de Force still in hand as Shorty. As the sidekick around the corner comes Janelle to secure the round.
Been playing every single time on the A side, was rotating, was all the way in backside of B, and with the time running out, less than 30 seconds, they knew that it was a now or never for Team T to take control of that A side, to get that post-point scenario to be pushed, and Cloud9 already, with a lot of pressure, losing a couple members, could take advantage of that, yet that 1v1 made it so much more difficult to execute, and now, in another round, Team T, a little bit on the lead here, but the Blade Storm trying to change things around.
Blade Storm on the opposite end, fortunately, finds the end. Or Janelle, who made things look good in the last round, to find the lead once more for Team T. I don't know how many people were expecting Cloud9 to even be behind at a deficit in rounds here in this matchup. Fortunately, Resurrection from rounds previous finds Janelle back on board, and, well, Jazzy falls. That's Knives down. Go 1 for 1 once more. Spike still in hand. Tenzin hanging on to that one. This is the strangest way that the beginning of these rounds, the first minute of the rounds, it feels like Team T are fighting for their lives to get out of the spawn. But then after that, the confidence is just through the roof. This is the moment right here where we start to see them come out of their shell and just say, okay, guys, we have to take these fights, and they're winning them.
And it's also Cloud9 positioning, conditioning the enemy into being so careful towards mid that they can take everything else around it, right? And we get to see it one by one. They knew it was a pretty good read into the A side to take the last one down. Axo